Today we will show you how to easily install a Fypon structural post and column wrap. In a minute, we'll give you tips and easy-to-follow instructions. But first, there are a few things you should consider. For a complete list of tools required, download our installation instructions from Fypon.com. Be sure to verify the load-bearing capacity of any structural element of the project before installing to ensure that each component meets specific requirements. Check building codes, since this procedure may require alterations to meet applicable building code regulations. First, measure and cut the structural post to fit. To determine the required height of the structural post, you will need to carefully measure the distance from the floor to the bottom of the porch overhang or other structure being supported. The structural post will need to be measured and cut 1/2 inch less than the required height. To account for the thickness of the mounting post, measure the structural post and mark with a pencil where the cut is required. Then, with a hacksaw or reciprocating saw with metal cutting blade, cut the structural post to size. Be sure to keep the cut level so the load is distributed evenly. Identify the correct location of the top mounting plate first, and use a plumb line dropped from the center point of the top plate location to accurately align the center point location for the bottom post mounting plate. If you have a concrete floor, mark with a pencil the holes of the mounting plate on the spot to be placed. Pre-drill the floor using hammer drill with 5 32nd-inch concrete bit. Insert the structural support post into the mounting plate. Make sure the post is flush with the base of the mounting post before installing the screws. Fasten the structural post and mounting plate together using stainless steel self-tapping screws. Place the second supplied mounting plate on the bottom of the structural support post and fasten it using stainless steel self-tapping screws. The sides of the two mounting plates must be parallel to each other. Lift the upper structure just high enough to allow the structural post, bottom mount, and top mount to be set into place. Make sure the structural post is level. Fasten the mounting plates to the floor and ceiling using flathead screws. If installing into concrete, fasten the mounting plate to the floor with Tapcon flathead screws. Now that you have the structural post in place, we will begin the installation of the Fypon Premium Select Column Wrap. As a reminder, Fypon Premium Select Column Wraps are non-structural and designed to install around a structural post. Let's begin. You will measure, square off, and cut to length with a skill saw or jigsaw. Dry fit the column halves together to ensure proper fit. Follow the arrows on the inside of the column shaft to ensure miters will match correctly. You will then dry fit the installation of the cleats. Mark with a pencil and cut to size. Now you will attach the installation cleats. First, attach one pair of the L-shaped external installation cleats to the outside bottom of the column shaft with flathead screws. This will designate the base of your column. If you're installing quick rail or a balustrade with your column wrap, you will need to properly block the area around the post where the brackets will be placed. Measure the inside of the column wrap and cut 2 wood blocks to size. Next, measure the gap of the post and cut the inner wall blocks to size. Once all pieces are cut, screw the end of the inner wall wood block pieces to the blocks that will butt up against the column wrap walls. Carefully measure where the bracket will be placed and mark the exterior column wrap for attaching the bracket in a later step. Next, screw the wood blocks to the column wrap. Finish installing the column wrap around the post by applying adhesive to the 2 mitered edges of the L-shaped column shaft. With the installed external installation cleats at the bottom of the column shaft, position the L-shaped sections around the support post. Make sure the cleats are flush at the base before fastening the shaft together. Fasten the column shaft seams together every 6 to 8 inches using 1 1/4 corrosion-resistant fasteners. Wipe off the excess adhesive before it dries. Fasten the base of the column to the floor using flat-headed fasteners. Direct contact to concrete is acceptable. Since the column wrap base assembly sets on top of the cleat, these fasteners will need to be flush. The cap and base will cover the fasteners. Plumb both sides of the column shaft and mark the shaft position with a pencil line for reference. Secure the 2 remaining loose L-shaped installation cleats to the top ceiling area surrounding the column shaft and locking it in position. These fasteners will need to be flush so the cap can fit tightly to the cleat. Apply adhesive to the mitered edges at the corners. Attach the cap and the base to the column shaft, positioning directly up to the cleat. Wipe off any excess adhesive with a damp cloth. Use PVC-compatible sealant to caulk the small gap between the cap and base and the column shaft. Use lightweight spackling to fill fastener holes. The column wrap is completely installed. If you are installing quick rail or a balustrade, you will then screw the bracket into place. Be sure the screw is long enough to screw through both the column wrap and into the blocking. Attach bracket cover and add the rail. To learn more about structural post and column wrap products, contact your local sales representative or visit Fypon.com.